Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Real History. Today I am in a location that hardly needs any introduction, and that place is the Coliseum, the historical landmark that is in many ways the ultimate symbol of the might of ancient Rome. In previous episodes we have taken a look at the 2000 film Gladiator in two parts that you can find here on our channel. And to supplement that a little bit, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little walk through the Colosseum and separate fact from fiction a little bit further, and I'll also be pointing out some of the unique features that are highlighted in the film. So let's go ahead and start taking a look around. Construction of what today is known as the Colosseum began in the year 69 AD as part of a massive urban enhancement project. The exterior facade of the Colosseum is wholly preserved only on the north side near the Oppian Hill. The south side was damaged by earthquakes in the 5th and 6th centuries and thereafter dismantled for scrap. The landmark has changed greatly in appearance over the centuries, so let's take a more detailed look inside. Preparations for games and spectacles were made in the underground substructure known as the hypogeum. Machinery below the stage floor operated trapdoors and freight elevators, supported by a complex system of winches and pulleys. Here, 15 hidden corridors were placed symmetrically at the two sides of the great central corridor. From them could emerge beasts, display props, and gladiators. Above, massive demonstrations ranging from water games to executions were held. To prevent spectators from falling into stairways leading into the cavea, the vomitoria were surrounded by barriers and balustrades of white marble. Here, the barriers and handrails were decorated with relief carvings depicting the likes of sphinxes, dolphins, lions, and other exotic creatures. Combat in the arena was preceded by warm-up exercises and the matching of fighters based off their weapons of choice to ensure fair face-offs. A defeated gladiator might seek a reprieve or be killed by his opponent. The granting of reprieves in Rome was entrusted to the emperor, who typically abided by public verdict. Victorious gladiators often received a symbolic palm and other precious gifts. For those who died, their blood was sponged off the floor as a lucrative commodity, since the consumption of warm human blood was considered a remedy against epilepsy. Blood was also believed to have spiritual properties. Since so many gladiators died young, their blood was considered an important means of communication with the underworld. At the base of the cavea was the floor of the arena, a wooden deck, partially rebuilt in 1999 on the east side of the arena. Its surface was covered with sand. The masonry structures seen today beneath the floor, once fully concealed from spectators, were the key features of the underground service spaces. Built after the inauguration of the amphitheater during the reign of Domitian, these pillars were repeatedly restored over the course of nearly 5 centuries of use. At the top of the theater was the velum, a movable awning made of wood and fabric. The top could be reached via steep staircases within the inner walls. The worst seats were naturally at the top, reserved for the lowest classes of society. However, admission was free after all. The best seats, close to the arena, were reserved for senators who had their names carved into designated spots. The imperial box was placed at the south end of the shorter axis. To reach it, the emperor had 2 available paths: a surface-level entrance or an underground passage. This subterranean corridor was known as the Passage of Commodus, so named after the purported attempt on the life of that emperor as he passed through. One of the most intriguing things about the Colosseum is they've had thousands of years to figure out crowd control, and they still haven't accomplished it in the long run. So that wraps up this special episode of Real History. We hope you've gained some new insights about the Colosseum and its connections to the movie Gladiator. Thank you, as always, for tuning in, and stay tuned for more special features and episodes in the near future. Until then, stay curious. We hope you've enjoyed this brief virtual tour of the Coliseum. Our information for this special episode was obtained directly from the official guidebook, which you can purchase from the Coliseum site store to help support this historic landmark.